Tonight's proceedings will go as follows. We will have 7 poets perform, and we've already drawn that order, I told you before we got started. And then we will have the 7 poets perform again. This time they'll be ordered from the high score of the night to the low score. And then we will be saying goodbye to 2 poets, unfortunately, and our final round will be 5 poets. So without further ado, our first poet in the slam tonight, give it up for Cameron!
Asking these words, I don't know.
Are those shoes?
Oh.
So, poet?
I love you. Go all the way in.
In survival, there is a rule of 3. You see, the average person can last 3 weeks without food, 3 days without water. It will take 3 minutes before your lungs become busted birthday balloons. This is not a poem about surviving. 3 minutes remaining. Now introducing a brand new cure for drapetomania. You know that mental illness that affects uppity niggers and slaves with a bad case of the runaways. First, tie the wrist to an old oak tree. Make sure you keep pulling until you hear the rope creaking. Now you may administer the whipping. Using only your wrist and forearm because honestly, you don't want to start sweating over something so menial. Start to swing. Do so repetitively. Do so until you can see the tissue bubble up past the flesh, until you can see leak from the skin, the part that God made the correct color. Now, you may raise up your shoplifted property. Make sure all your workers are able to stop and see what happened to those who attempt robbery. Make sure they hear how he coughs, how he chokes, how he wheezes, how his lungs have become broken litanies that they are never to repeat, how he breathes in and out like ticking. 2 minutes remaining. I am glad they took my eyes from me. Chopped my ears off. I do not want to see them anymore. I can only smell their jubilee. The crisp cakes they brought to eat while they watched me, the children's sweets, the smell of freshly cut pine below my bare feet. It was several minutes before I realized where the smell of roasted meat came from. You see, they used to call us savages, cannibals, but now they are feasting on the image of my effigy. They made a Negro barbecue of me while I'm on this tree, suffocating on my own fumes, floating in and out of the fire like a tug of war between burning and breathing, a grandfather clocked in. Pendulum ticking. 1 minute remaining. Breathe. The flashes he sees on the side of his eyes are not police lights. Breathe. The ringing he hears in his ears are not from gunshots. Breathe. The cord wrapped around his neck is not hoodie string. The pants around his ankles are not shackles. This is not the sound of his running for the police or catching the police. It is breathe. 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 There is a reason these things seem familiar. There is a reason we feel so Pavlovian trained at them. You see, they revolutionized the dog industry. They now have ankle monitors that can make invisible chain link fences so strong they stay even when the monitors no longer remain. They tase those that bark too loudly, lock them up in dog pounds, put them to sleep as need be, take their pups and put them into shelters until we can find them proper owners. And still, you can stick to the old leashes if you want to. It's amazing what you can do with a little rope and string. It's like puppeteering. Simply leave your marionettes hanging long enough and they will straighten out any kinks they find in the line for you. Wow. They will paint their chains golden until they can make imprisonment look beautiful. They will hang themselves so that you don't have to.
Give it up for Cameron. Judges, 3, 2, 1, scores up. From low to high, we have a 7.1. No! A 7.4. What the? A 7.8. A 7.8. And an 8.1. Giving us a, give it up once again for Cameron, that gives us a total score of 23 points even for Cameron. Give it up for the next ball comes to the stage. Give it up for June.
A letter to the Black Power Ranger. I didn't have cable growing up. Saturday mornings, we found fuzzy images plastered to our small TV, antenna spread, searching for a decent signal, my father and I. 6 inches away, our eyes wide, legs crossed, bodies adorned in briefs we scavenged from Kmart. Our hands cradling Tupperware filled with Captain Crunch. The intro scene to Power Rangers is like watered down Bruce Lee set to cheesy rock music, but you, mysterious Black Power Ranger, you made it look cool. I was sure of this because my father, in between bites of cereal, never failed to say the black one is cool. I'm the black one. And with this starting gun sound, my captivation with who could be underneath your helmet was off. My childish mind running to conclusions as fast as I ran to playgrounds. There was only one option. You, Mr. Black Power Ranger, are my father. I mean, he said so himself. It makes complete sense. 1, you are both black. 2, you are both men. 3, you are both heroes. It explains how my father knows how to fix everything, how he knows how I like my nachos before I tell him there's only one of him and only one of you. The comparisons go on and on. Until recently, I'd never seen you lose. Knockdown, sure, but what badass superhero doesn't get blasted by the Wizard of Deception or Lord Zed every once in a while? This is bigger than that. Mr. Black Power Ranger, have you ever had cancer? I'm writing you today because I think my father is missing his alter ego, his body disappearing from lack of nourishment from chemo. Have you ever been attacked internally? I doubt it, since nothing gets under your jumpsuit/helmet combo, but he has. This is when I would expect you to spring into action. I mean, take your time. I'm sure you're busy shooting Power Rangers Megaforce, but seeing him in a hospital bed makes me worry. His antenna arms spread, searching for a signal from God that he isn't finding because his words are coming in fuzzy, his life reduced to small screens that beep too frequently. I'm wishing he'd fight, but knowing in my now adult head that fists cannot solve problems just as helmets cannot hide them, closed eyes will not make my father well. Nor will turning my back return what he has given me, outcast, goody mob, and the entire Dungeon family, individual fashion sense. A taste for all things anime, a love for all things black. What inspired ghetto poems? A father whose skin was the prototype for my ink, dark, powerful, something that wouldn't fade. He has always been my hero. Karate chopping to cheesy rock music on Saturday mornings, he might never rise again. Might leave me on my own. It doesn't matter. I am ready now. For all that you have given me, this one is for you. I love you.
We have a 7.4. We have an 8.4, an 8.4, an 8.9, and a 9.1 for the outlet. 7.4, 8.4, 8.4, 8.9, and 9.1. Let's get up for a scorekeeper, Brian. That is a combined score of 25.7. Give it up for June. And actually, one very quick thing I forgot to explain. If you're confused as to why all of these scores are falling below 30, how we do the scores is we take 5 scores, the low score and the high score get eliminated, and the poet score for that poem is the combined score of the 3 middle. So we're going on a scale from 0 to 30. But anyway, without any further distraction, let's give it up for the third poet on the list. And I forgot who that quote was. Good job. I don't know about the hire, I get fired anywhere else. Anyway, next quote coming up is Julia.
Last night there was a shooting. The dumpster's the only witness.
So the media can spin it however they like, and they put the blame on the one who was asking for it. Because when he got dressed that night, he might as well put a gun to his own head. T-shirt, jeans, and sneakers, as if he didn't know that back alley gun toters can't stand such a potent combination, can't control themselves around such a display, get a little trigger happy around clothing choices so provocative. I mean, how could you expect him to keep his gun in his pants after all that temptation he was asking for? The minute he walked into that back alley, as if he didn't know that shortcuts are only for self-made sitting ducks, it's really his own fault for putting himself in a dangerous situation. And let's be honest, we all know he enjoyed it a little bit. I mean, who wouldn't have felt a thrill run up their leg at the sight of that gun so big and strong? I bet he wanted to touch it. That the danger of the situation made him a little hot under the collar, that once the bullet penetrated his body, he stopped resisting because he knew that all he needed was a little good shooting to remind him of the true pleasure to be found in knowing one's place. And he can tell all the lies he wants to from his hospital bedroom. They will only ask him questions. When he pulled out his gun, did you tell him no loud enough? Could he have mistaken your soft moan of terror for consent? Don't try to tell anyone your story. No one will believe you. Are you sure you even got shot? Are you sure that you want to ruin somebody else's life with this accusation? Are you sure you aren't just looking for attention? Don't try to tell us that he left you bloodied and broken. That you flinch at the sight of every man who comes around a corner. Don't run away from your problems. You will be called weak. Don't try to claim PTSD, that's only for soldiers. Don't try to get him arrested. Because even with the physical signs all over your body, they'll still ask if you were partly responsible. Were you drunk that night? Was he? Intoxication can lead to a lack of responsibility. Don't tell anyone. Because isn't it better that your silence kill you softly than that anyone else have to feel guilty, even if you're still stuck in that back alley waiting for the release of his pistol, for the pain to be over? Act normal, or they'll lock you up. Don't argue that the questions they ask you don't leave room for the truth, because everyone knows. Some people just shoot. So easy.
Judges, 3, 2, 1, scores up. Load high, we have a 7.5, a 7.9, an 8.2, an 8.5, and an 8.9, giving us the combined score of
24.6.
24.6. Give it all more time for Julia. Give it up for the next one coming to the stage. Give it up for Matthew.
I see you, cute. Like your shirt.
The lobster raptor.
Be out, Dad.
So let me tell you about this girl I met one night. White girl, right? Blonde hair, fair skin, honey was fine and all that. And I gotta say, she felt some type of way about your boy. We were both walking to our dorm after a night out when we peeped each other from across the street. She got brave first though, and said, "Hi, my name's Becky. What's yours?" That caught her play off guard. I couldn't even say anything to her, and I was silenced the night, and she escaped into the dark. But that's not how the night actually went, did it? I had missed the bus, but somehow I still managed to walk myself into Montgomery. It was like watching reverse slavery the way you ran ahead in front of me. Why were you so worried about me? That was Jack that had you stumbling. And everyone knows that Mr. Daniels isn't the best companion to coming home with you late at night. Still, I know it can be a bit uneasy having a guy walking behind you. So when I passed, I just wanted you to know I was going my own way. At the quad, you skated to the other side. Funny, I didn't know these roads were still segregated. I find that ironic when white lines accompany the street's black pavement. Yet there were other guys. Why didn't they make you panic? Were you afraid of the dark as a child? Did my skin reawaken your fears? They say black represents doubt, ignorance, and uncertainty. Maybe I was just absorbing the true colors of your character. As if word came from Topeka, we in each other's presence once again. Okay, my name's Becky. What's yours? Your tone startled me. I replied that I hadn't even said anything to you. You asked me where I was going. I told you my dorm. But when you proceeded to ask me where I live, I grew upset. Because this wasn't a little white lie to you. This was ugly black deception. Don't you know when white women draw assumptions of black men, you're only sketching on wanted posters for society? Stereotypes make my head swell like Emmett Till. The way we males are forced to put our lives on display, even till death, is an open casket film. Our image is mutilated by hate. How can we hope to save face? But maybe I never should have been in a rush to get home, so I would have ran into you. Matter of fact, maybe I should have never decided to go to this college so I'd even be here. Or maybe I should have never tried to acknowledge my presence in a white person's world. At least then you'd become, right? Do you know how nervous I felt, trying to push past prejudice without following to his footsteps? Maybe one day, my strides towards understanding can find pace with your runaway train of thought. I never stalked you, but I want this poem to.
Give it a little time for Matt. Judges, you know what to do by now. 3, 2, 1, scorecards up. From low to high, we have a 7.4, an 8.2, an 8.4, an 8.5, and an 8.8. Which gives us a score of 25.1 for Matt. Give it a little time for Matt. Keep it on for the next poem coming up to the stage. I forgot again, I swear they shouldn't give me this job. I'm forgetful, but I'm pretty, I swear. Give it up for the next one coming to the stage, Ashley Harris.
Go in, MD.
Let's make out.
Physicians say when a patient loses a ligament, they wake up as if it was never missing. They call this phantom limb syndrome. Months before my birth, my father took full advantage of his legs, walked around ungrateful, ignored my mother's calls, hung up on her like she was a stranger, threw away the blood tests, the court letters. Apparently, he was always on his red firefighter bike, childlike. But every project is supposed to be complete. Every puzzle is supposed to come with the exact number of pieces. So that day, my father lost his leg. The bike with scissors across his leg, I gained a heartbeat. The doctor used scissors across my umbilical cord. He cried blood, loose teeth. I cried a newborn's release. Neurologically, it hurts the most when a patient looks in the mirror. We feel the most towards the invisible, what we no longer have. The first time I met my father, he pulled up his pant legs like blinds that he might find what gave him life, light. But inside those penny loafers was just numb plastic, or perhaps his face. He was trying to pretend he was happy to see me, but all he talked about was his leg, how he couldn't run, jump, or swim anymore, but not the times we didn't laugh, cry, or dance together, or the baby photos he threw away, the child support he never paid, that he would still be gone and never return. He couldn't see the light was in me, not beyond his knee. He's still looking for his leg. The last time I talked to him, he told me, I just can't love anymore without, but I hear I just have never had to grow up before Dad. You have to accept the fact that your leg was our compensation for your eternal youth. It was the nights my mom cried, the nights I waited for you. You are lucky we didn't ask you for your liver, your gut, your lung, your stomach. No, we just charged you a leg.
The last time I talked to him, I told him, like your leg, my neuroreceptors are no longer connected to my brain. I can't feel pain, and no, I don't look into mirrors in fear. I will feel something I never had. He paused, stroked his prosthetic limb, his false reality. You see, when he looks in the mirror, he doesn't see us. He sees him and his leg, its muscular dents. He says, I will pray for you, girl. You are crazy. How can you care about someone who's never been there for you in the first place? I told him, how can you miss a leg when I am the one with your DNA? I majored in chemistry, everything, I am you.
Judges, y'all know the drill. 3, 2, 1, scores up. From low to high, we have a 7.5, an 8.1, an 8.3, an 8.4, and a 9.
I appreciate your excessive magic. Who's gonna wear the UNC show?
I hear a lot of little voices in my head telling me what to do, telling me what papers are due, telling me practice your poetry piece because your performance has to be on point. And go to the gym, and do homework after, and go to this event, and that one. And don't forget to go to office hours. Make learning center appointments that'll help raise your grade. Get an A in this class and prove black people are just as smart. Because every time you're in a room full of Caucasians and the shit gets hard, that's when the doubting starts. And take time to pick out the right outfit.
Go in.
We dress to distract from the holes in our souls, always can put together a whole ensemble.
Talk about it.
But that ensemble can never make me feel whole. Don't forget to call home. Call grandma and grandpa, call your mom and dad, call your brother and sister, call them all. Call. That's all they want you to do is call as if off the face of the earth you'll fall. And get a yik-yak, because that's where it's at. Download Instagram and Twitter, and get a Tumblr too. Drink, turn up. Drink, turn up. There's umpteen weeks in the semester. I'm turning up umpteen times. Write some more poetry, so I can be told it's just rap. Write another paper so someone's red ink on white paper can tell me it's crap. Meet another girl I like, just to find out she has a boyfriend. Befriend another girl I like. Befriend another girl who'll end up liking me, becoming annoying. I can't take it anymore. I can't take it. I can't take no more Mondays to wait for Friday. No more Fridays to wish it was always Friday, one after another. Today is tomorrow will be a today. And every couple of hours from now will be a couple of minutes from now, which will become a couple of nows from now. It's always now. We'll always be here, and here, and here, and here, and here. And we've been here for about 5 years now. But the voices in my head said I'm wasting time now. I gotta go. Meet people, do work. But they say if I keep socializing, then my schoolwork gonna suffer. But people make me who I am. But academics is what put me where I'm at. So they say a balance is what I should have, but I'm no dairy product. I can't do no half and half. I'm only human. And perfection is all I'll ever be. The disproportionality of my psyche is what makes me a human being. But the voices said, stop this poem. You're trespassing, freeze. Put your hands on your head. The voices say, this world is no longer for me. The voices are talking. And they are no longer little. The voices are so loud. I can no longer hear my voice.
Good, one more time from Madrid. Judges, 3, 2, 1, scores up. From low to high, we have a 6.3, an 8.6, an 8.6, an 8.7, and a 9.1.
I've always wanted to have a daughter. I'm so excited for all the things that I'll teach her. Why flowers bloom, why the sky is blue, all about animals. I'll take her to the zoo. I'll tell her that the ones with the long, long necks are giraffes, the ones that swing from trees are apes, and the ones that look like her mother, with heron posture and lioness prow, with crowns that fit like halos, well, those I'll tell her are queens. And one day, princess, you will be a queen. Remember that the only difference between being royalty and being normal is the way you carry yourself and convincing yourself that the nobility runs in your veins. Walk with your head held high. Past the pack of wolves in men's clothing, they are just sheep. They will baa and bleat, try however they can to get your goat. Ignore them. They're just asses. Sometimes the streets will feel like you're in a jungle. Men will look like wild animals, bark up every wrong tree. Be strong. You are a queen. Know that you are nothing less. If they call you a cat, show them your teeth, bare your claws, explain them the difference between mice and men. You are not to be preyed upon. If they give you a name that is not your own, be a bitch. Know that you are not one. You are someone's lover, someone's sister, someone's daughter. You are your own person, and they have no right to make you feel uncomfortable in your own pelt. Bark back. Howl back, scratch, claw, bite, kick. It is not horseplay when it's about survival. You are not something for predators to feast upon. You are apex, tertiary, pinnacle. You are more than God. You are goddess, daughter. You do not have to be alpha. You do not have to be male to be an alpha. You do not have to be a fighter. Gazelles can outrun cheetahs by continuing to move. Never stand still. When you walk on concrete jungle streets, remember that you owe nothing to the dogs that mistake harassment for mating calls. You owe nothing to dogs who mistake harassment for mating calls. You do not have to play possum. Do not let them turn your body into a display. You can speak out. What will they do when the cat calls back? Confront the animals that conflate you into an exhibit. Play their game of cat and mouse. Be the cat. Remember that the only difference between male and female are those two little letters, F-E. Chemistry tells us that the difference between men and women is that women just have a little bit more iron. And you, daughter, cut your teeth on steel. Your roar will shake skyscraper trees. You will live in natural habitat because you, daughter, will be queen of the jungle.
Give it one more time for Elliot. Judges, 3, 2, 1, scores up. From low to high, we have a 7.9. We have another 7.9. We have an 8.9, a 9.3, and a 9.3 for Poet. That is a score of 26.1. Give it up for Elliot. Now our intrepid scorekeeper is going to calculate the scores and determine our order for the second round. While he does that, may I read you a second poem? You actually have 6. Lips wet with anticipation, she traces the edges with her fingertips and dives in. Did you know? The body electric we sing is a duet. 7. Now that I'm all caught up on Empire, I have idle hands and a mind addled with thoughts of Naomi Campbell, whoever that woman is that plays Lucius Lyon's girlfriend. I'm sorry I forgot her name. I'll do my best not to do the same with yours. 8. To know I did not need you was to know freedom. The hurt was just hurt. The words were just words. Touch was just touch. Science is the cynical sister of spirituality. She's right more often than I care to admit. 9. I'm high on the feeling that you are in love with me. The great thing about ADHD is that you can taste like any song I want. You stand on golden sands and you kiss me like a rose on the gray, or I am everything I need and more. I close my eyes and put on glitter makeup and sing every note of Electric Ladyland from beginning to end, and it's ironic. The things we only notice once they have stopped gripping our throats. 10. My bed, a craftsman's table. The night, my shop hours, bodies, my craft. Each one practiced like an instrument until moaning staccatos fill the night.
Yeah.
Thank you.